A Predator run travels to a strange new planet in Predator Badlands, one of few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Predator Badlands, the second Predator movie to come out this year and directed by the same man, Dan Trachtenberg, after the animated Predator Killer of Killers, and also the first one to be rated PG-13 since Alien vs. Predator. So you think that would diminish the violence and excitement? Think again, because there's still some green blood and weird alien creatures worthy of your time.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe.
The Predator in this movie is a runt named Deck and played by an actor whose name I'm trying my best to pronounce, Dimitrius Schuster-Koloamatangi, and he wants to prove to his clan that he's more than that by traveling to a planet to kill a creature that is considered to be deathless. His trek basically becomes 48 hours when his newfound comic relief sidekick is a synthetic named Thea, played by Elle Fanning.
I could help you. Well, good luck with your journey.
Predator Badlands doesn't take as much risks as Predator Killer of Killers did, especially when we have to get to that predictable plot regarding Thea's company, but it's more interesting than the dinosaurs in Jurassic World Rebirth or their menus. It might even be going for that Star Wars approach to try to entertain kids while the adults still might appreciate the green blood and visuals. The actors are also likable, the alien creatures and grass made of glass are cool, and it's nice to see another Predator movie in theaters after the last two entries went to Hulu. Next up, Die My Love, the latest movie from Lynne Ramsay, who also gave us We Need to Talk About Kevin and You Were Never Really Here. Based on the book, Jennifer Lawrence plays a former writer and young mother who is relocated from New York to a shabby place in Montana and spends most of her days moping around the house with her baby, who shall remain nameless, while her husband, Robert Pattinson, is working.
Cheryl mentioned that you're a writer.
I don't do that anymore.
Stuck for inspiration?
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all.
The cast also includes Lakeith Stanfield as a motorcyclist who she may or may not imagine having an affair with, Sissy Spacek as her mother-in-law who tries to tell her that the first year of motherhood is tough, and Nick Nolte plays her dementia-stricken husband who may be the reason to Spacek's own looniness. On the genre of elevated motherhood dramas, I think Die My Love is better than If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You because there are less stressful situations and more about the mother trying to grasp of her own reality. It's either a dream or a reality, and even though we don't always understand her situation, we admire the strong performance from Lawrence and how she reminded me a bit of Tilda Swinton's character in We Need to Talk About Kevin. In fact, Ramsay wasn't sure about directing this movie based on some familiar themes she explored in that film, but Lawrence convinced her to make this, and I'm glad she did. Next up, Christy, with Sydney Sweeney portraying the female boxer Christy Martin, who was nicknamed the coal miner's daughter based on her father's job and took so many punches in and out of the ring in her lifetime. She discovered her own lesbianism, which her conservative parents disapproved of, and she was forced to marry her coach Jim Martin, played by Ben Foster, disguised by makeup. He transitions from a sexist and homophobic to an abusive, greedy, and murderous monster.
What are you doing sneaking around behind my back?
Sneaking around? Hey, Dad. I think I want to come home.
You want to lose your trainer, your career, all of it?
Christy was directed by David Meekod, who also made Animal Kingdom and The Rover, and he co-wrote the screenplay with Mira Falks, who also acted in Animal Kingdom. Their screenplay tries too hard to have the pathos overshadow the courage of her boxing life, but it does remind us or introduce us to Christy Martin and how she struggled to make a name for herself. It sure as hell wasn't easy because of Jim, the homophobia, her mother being cold even after Christy was almost murdered by her husband, and the fact that most people would prefer to see male boxers over female boxers at the time. It's more of a movie I would see once given those elements, but Sweeney and Foster's performances are ageless here. Next up, Anniversary, which is another small thriller that knows what politics does to society. As the film begins, Kyle Chandler and Diane Lane are both celebrating their wedding anniversary. Lane is a liberal college professor who is disillusioned by the fact that her son Dylan O'Brien is dating her former radical student played by Phoebe Denever from Fair Play.
I wasn't sure if you'd remember me.
I didn't at first, but I remember you now.
Lane humiliated her in class based on her thesis paper, which was titled The Birth of a Nation, The Change. But that book, now titled The Change, becomes a nationwide success that ultimately tears our country and this family apart.
The skillful way she evades questions.
Can you pretend to be happy for me? You couldn't bend her your way. Drives you insane.
What do you even know about this girl?
It's difficult for me to acknowledge how fascistic society has gotten in this movie, but it's pretty scary and wisely acted in such a dramatization. Anniversary guarantees no happy endings or heroics, just a result of what the change has brought to society. You can sense when such a movement can destroy society, just like how the Mein Kampf inspired Hitler's political beliefs. There's a lot here that qualifies Anniversary as a thriller, and it works. And our last movie is Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain, a French-Belgium animated feature. Based on Amelie Nafam's book The Character of Rain and set in 1969, it tells the story of a little Belgian girl named Amelie who was born as a vegetable but starts moving and making noises at the age of 2. She currently lives in Japan, kudos to her father's job, and her bratty behavior is respectively tamed by the arrival of her grandmother and her new Japanese nanny.
This is Nishio-san. She's gonna help us out around here.
You were the only one who could see the real me.
Amelie might even identify herself as Japanese if she learns things from the country's point of view, like what her name means in the language. Ami means rain in Japanese, and what hardships Nishio-san suffered from in her youth, and because this is a children's movie that's told in cooking format. There are times when I turned my back against little Amelie when the kids have to act all bratty and noisy. I guess the filmmakers are trying to level up to the behaviors of Lilo and Stitch or Turning Red, but there are also times when I see some beauty in the animation and some heartbreaking moments that guarantee some tears. It all has to do with losses, which we, the audience, find it difficult to acknowledge. I'm not sure the status of kids these days, but it might speak to little ones at a certain level, but from my adult standpoint, I think it might work for older kids and mostly their parents. Recapping this week's new movies: thumbs up for Predator Badlands, thumbs up for Die My Love, thumbs up for Christy, thumbs up for Anniversary, and thumbs up for Little Amelie. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies.